Hello and welcome to episode 37 of the Read Between podcast, the improvised storytelling podcast where we take the internet's weirdest suggestions and turn them into weird, wacky, and crazy stories through the power of improv. I'm one of your co-hosts, Evan.
I'm your other co-host, Lynn.
And we are here for the Read Between podcast presents the Read Between podcast 1 year anniversary retrospective. We have finally hit a year of doing this podcast. A year. Can you believe it, Lynn?
It does not feel like a year.
It does not. No. We registered the name on Twitter and Facebook October. It was this week, October 17th, 2017.
Yes, because Twitter will tell me our birthday.
Yes, I believe it was October 17th. So we're releasing this a couple days early, but you know we've been doing this podcast for pretty much a year now. It's crazy to think it's been a year.
Yes. October 16th.
October
is
16th.
Our birthday.
So literally tomorrow.
So it is coming out on the birthday.
It is coming. Well, technically tomorrow being Tuesday.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Right. We're recording this on a Sunday.
Recording this on a Sunday, releasing on a Monday. The birthday is a Tuesday. But still, it's the same week. It all matters. You know, I just had my birthday this past weekend, and now we're celebrating the podcast birthday.
So many birthdays.
So many birthdays, so little time, but we're so happy to have finally hit a year on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's been quite the journey, I'd say.
A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of side and sides.
A lot of missed weeks.
A lot of, specifically, how many would that be, Evan?
Like there were 6 or 7 that we missed, like completely. We didn't do anything, and some other stuff here and there. But you know, we've had tremendous growth, especially these past couple months. And we want to thank everybody that's listened to the show and supported the show over the last year, especially the last 6 months, because that's really when we've seen the biggest growth and people, you know, talking about the show and checking it out and telling people about it. And it's really been awesome. We've loved every second of it.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate however you spread the word about Read Between, whether that's, you know, telling a friend, telling your dad. I told my dad about it, and now he's commenting on our Facebook page. He listens on YouTube. He's our only YouTube listener.
And he'll leave comments on every episode.
Shout out to Mike LeBate. You're the best.
Exactly, yeah. Couple shout outs I want to give. I want to give a shout out to my good friend James Anderson from Unabashedly Obsessed and Blink and You'll Miss It. He's a guy I've worked with. I was a guest on Blink and You'll Miss It a number of times, and every time an episode of that came out, he always shouted out Read Between and our other shows. So, and he's a guy that's, you know, been a big proponent of mine. I've, you know, loved working with him, and it's great. The Mabim Bambino podcasters group in general on Facebook, you guys have been such a huge help to us over the past year, you know, whether it's been creating release threads for us to check out episodes, you know, sharing stuff and people liking it and checking it out. You guys have been awesome, an awesome support group, and it's been such a cool group of people that I've gotten to work with and talk to and things like that, and we hope to do more with you guys in the future because all of you are awesome and all your shows are awesome. You all deserve all the love from everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's definitely... I have a long queue of podcasts, as I talk about a lot. Mm-hmm. I normally have like 25 podcasts queue up. Yeah. And Mabim Bambino podcasters group, that's definitely raised that queue up to like almost 30.
Yeah, there's a lot. So yeah. A huge thanks to all of you guys, and a huge thanks to all of our listeners, everybody. So it's been great. It's been awesome.
Thank you to anyone who has guested on the show.
Yes, all of our friends in the improv community. Yeah. Dan Marr, Jeremy Ballin, Dan Ford, Justin Passano. I got his name right. Justin Passano.
Justin Panini.
Sarah White, Elizabeth Wiggins, Rob Cressman. Oh, God, the list goes on and on.
Oh, my God, yeah. Your sister?
Yes, Emily. Oh, Emily Williamson. Yes, absolutely. How could I forget that? Yes, awesome guests all around. You guys have made recording this so much fun.
Oh, my gosh. Bringing a third person in is always so much fun.
It's always fun because it just adds a different dynamic to our storytelling.
And everyone does it differently.
Oh, yeah.
Like... I always very vehemently remember Jeremy's episode. Oh,
yes.
And I always very vehemently remember Dan's episode.
Yes.
Dan's episode, I think we recorded for like 2 hours or something.
Dan Marr, we recorded...
Yeah. Oh, my God.
We recorded with Dan Marr for a long time that day. It was hard to edit that episode down because it was all so good.
And it was so good, yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, thank you to all of you. So I think what we haven't talked about is what this episode is going to be today. Mm-hmm. So what this episode is going to be today is we're going to be giving you 3 of our favorite stories from the first year of Read Between. And we've kind of looked at 3 of our distinct eras of the show because we've kind of had 3 eras of the show. So the first era is the early days. So like the first 2 or 3 months. We have a really fun story from that period. The second story is going to be from our sort of middle period before we went away for a while, when we had a lot of guests on the show. And then the third story is going to be from the last few weeks. It was in the last month and a half, but one of our favorite stories we've ever done on the show. So look out for those. We're going to talk to you a little about each of those as we go along. So the first one we're going to be introducing for you today is one of our favorites from the first, few episodes. This
is where I peaked, folks.
With
my jokes.
This is where Lynn peaked in the beginning of the series.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. It was a story we did. I'm blanking. I want to try to.
What's his face? Who loved Sonic?
John Carpenter. Yes.
John Carpenter loves Sonic.
Yes.
And an article came out about it.
Yeah.
And that's what this story is related to.
Yeah, John Carpenter, as we all know, is the mind behind the Halloween films and all sorts of other horror films. And this is actually from episode 4. So,
oh my god,
episode 4. Yeah, can you believe it?
I didn't think it was that soon.
It was that early. Episode 4.
I peaked at episode 4, folks.
But it was a hilarious story. We talked about all sorts of silly stuff. That's enough about us talking about it. Why don't we just give it to you?
Yeah.
Why don't you listen to this story again? It was a lot of fun. Here it is. I really want to talk about Sonic, though.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about Sonic, though. Because there was a new Sonic game that came out, and boy, does it look terrible.
Oh, my God.
So, should we talk about John Carpenter's relationship with Sonic?
Sure.
We're going to tell that fan fiction.
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter Sonic fan fiction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, God. The Sonic.
John Sonic.
The Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter's going to have a field day over this one.
Oh, like they listen.
You never know. If at Sonic the Hedgehog on Twitter, if you're listening, please give us a sign.
Give us a sign. Give us a sign from above.
Don't send me a copy of Sonic Forces, though. I don't want to play
Send me a copy of Sonic Forces. I will gladly play
I'll take a code of Sonic Mania.
No, not the good one. You don't get good things.
I think, okay.
You don't get good things.
No.
Good things don't happen in this world,
Good things
Evan.
don't happen in the world of Sonic the Hedgehog. So, should we tell this story now?
Let's just tell
Carpenter?
the story.
Okay. So, as most of you know, John Carpenter, esteemed director, filmmaker, created Halloween back in the 80s, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was 80s. Yeah. Created the Halloween franchise. Well-renowned horror director, well-known composer as well. And yeah, his love for Sonic actually knows no bounds.
Oh yeah, you should see his room. His room is Sonic Blue with all of the Sonic posters. And then just a bunch of Sonic collectible items. You know, Sonic, when he goes to bed, he wears Sonic onesies. He wears Sonic slippers.
And the Sonic slippers, we must say, are pretty much just slippers in the shape of Sonic shoes, which are those weird, like, triangular shoes that are red and white, which I don't understand how anybody could walk around in those.
Are they triangular?
Yeah, they're like triangular. They look like triangles.
I thought they were like sneakers.
The thing is, I don't know with hedgehog feet, which obviously are pretty small. Let's just look at Sonic the Hedgehog. This is great. This is great for the people watching. Yeah, like look at his feet. They're like
it's like sneakers with a strap over it.
Yeah, but they look like his feet are like triangular.
Right. For the sake of argumenting.
They
are triangle.
They
slippers.
are yes. Okay.
You know, his comforter, Sonic.
Yep.
He's even got like an old tube TV in his room, right? That is shaped like Sonic's head, only where the eyeballs and where the eyes are supposed to be, it's the screen.
Oh, okay.
So he's pretty
Those are pretty
decked
small
out.
screens.
I know, right? But Sonic,
well, in order to play the games, you have to look into Sonic's eyes.
Yes.
You're pretty much just looking at him and just.
I want to let you guys know right now that because of the way our mic is set up, we have to like put our arms around one another. That was too intimate of a moment talking about Sonic. I just wanted to. Okay, this is weird. I
gotta go fast.
Okay, go fast over there. Go fast away from my face. I gotta go fast too. Fast the fuck out of here.
But also, his love for Sonic extends outside of his room. He actually named his children Tails, Knuckles, and Amy.
Amy is the only one that people don't get the reference to.
Yep.
They just go, oh, okay, that's a normal name.
Yep.
Until they get to her middle name, which is just straight up Sonic.
Yeah. Amy Sonic Carpenter.
Yes.
All of their middle names are actually Sonic.
Yes.
He hasn't named a child Sonic yet because he is only saving that name for his chosen child.
Yes, obviously.
Because actually, John Carpenter has a prophecy in his life that his final born child will be named Sonic, and that child will be the Messiah, and that child will mark the beginning of a new era of Sonic the Hedgehog, and also the new era of the Carpenter family name.
Yes.
And all children after that point will have to be named Sonic Junior, Sonic the Second, Sonic the Third, Sonic the Fourth, and so on.
Yes.
And the middle name will still be Sonic, so it'll be Sonic Carpenter.
And then the new round of kids, like Sonic the Messiah's children, they're all like the other versions of Sonic, so like Metal Sonic, Chaos, Shadow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the bad versions of Sonic.
All the bad versions of Sonic.
No, there will never be a Big the Cat, though. No child will ever be Big the Cat.
That's just rude.
No child should ever be have the title of Big the Cat.
But there was one that was named Froggy.
There was. That was when he dabbled into it should have been Slippy, but he couldn't.
Or Slippy.
He couldn't think of the name Slippy because he played Star Fox once and then couldn't remember the name, so he just went with Froggy. So that's how he came up with Froggy was the stepson. Froggy was the stepson from another marriage.
Froggy was the stepson that had already had a name. Yeah. But John Carpenter just named him Froggy.
Yes. But over the years, John Carpenter became frustrated with Sonic. He became frustrated as, the quality of the games, went downhill. John Carpenter's love started to fade. And it all came to a head in 2006 with the release of the critically panned and audience panned Sonic the Hedgehog, where Sonic has a relationship with a human woman and talks to people and interacts with humans and buys shoes from a man in a seaside town.
I know exactly what you're referencing.
Yes. You don't know what I'm referencing?
I don't know what he's referencing.
You've never heard of Sonic 06, the terrible Sonic game?
No.
You watched
I've heard of it, but I don't remember any of that happening.
Let me just clue you in. It's the worst Sonic game ever made. Don't ever touch it. Don't ever play it. If you get near it, your gaming life will crumble before you.
I want to play it now.
You don't want to play it. You thought Sonic Boom was bad? Oh, Sonic 06 started it.
But like there were some in the middle that he kind of was okay with. So like
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 or what it was?
Sonic and the Black Knight he liked.
Sonic Colors.
Sonic Colors.
Yep. Sonic Generations was okay.
Sonic Unleashed. He was okay with it.
He was okay with the one with the werewolf because it fit in with his horror background.
Yes. He could appreciate that.
But it all came to a head, after that point with the release of Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. At that point, John Carpenter could not stand what they've done to Sonic, and he actually went to the Sonic team headquarters, and he came there dressed as Michael Myers. Now, granted, this is a very old man dressed as Michael Myers coming through the offices of a Japanese game company, dressed as a mass murderer from a horror film. And this was actually around Halloween time. So the people in the office were actually happy and excited when this person walked through the door. They were like, yay! This is cool. This is fun.
We like Halloween.
Yeah, we like Halloween time. This is fun. But then John Carpenter, just like Michael Myers in the film, brutally murders everybody at Sonic Team except for one person who he takes hostage.
Yeah. And the person he takes hostage really kind of didn't have anything to do with Sonic. It was just somebody. It was an intern.
And actually, let me rephrase that. He didn't murder them. He's so old that when he tried to put the knife through them, everybody just dove out of the way
and then pretended to get hit, and they were like, "Oh, it hurts so bad."
Yeah. So nobody died. Let me just get that out of the way. I should have put air quotes around murder.
Even if you did, no one would see it. This is a recording.
And he actually, John Carpenter was so infuriated, he tried to perform a actual Sonic spin dash, but knocked himself out doing it.
And that's when the employees at the Sonic headquarters just decided to be like, all right, take this guy into the interrogation room, tie him up, see what the fuck he knows. Because they've actually never seen anyone attempt to do that before. So they were like, all right, we need to get this guy in question, immediately.
Yep.
So they picked him up, dragged him in, tied him up. Mm-hmm. And when he woke up, he was still in the Michael Myers costume, just sans the mask. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what the fuck is going on here? Mm-hmm. What's going on? And just one guy in a big white, like, doctor lab suit coat, like, just, like, dressed all in white.
And he has back turned.
And then he slowly turns over, and he's got this huge-ass syringe that is just Sonic blue. Right?
And as he looks up and sees his face, there's a giant spiky mustache and giant eyebrows and giant nose. It was none other than Dr. Eggman in the flesh.
I don't know what Dr. Eggman sounds like, so can you help me out with that for a moment?
Yeah, Sonic. Yeah.
Oh, kind of like an old bad man, say?
Not really, but more like, ha ha, Sonic. It kind of like, I don't know.
Okay, I'm not getting it, but okay.
Mr. Carpenter, it seems you've tried to infiltrate our headquarters.
I have no idea what you mean.
You tried to spin dash on these employees, and you broke your neck.
My neck is broken? Well, that explains why everything is sideways right now.
Well, here, I have a syringe that can help with that. And he sticks a syringe in his neck and brings his neck back to life, pretty much.
But then, when he does that, John Carpenter feels something hot around his neck.
And his veins start to turn blue.
Yeah. And then the next thing you know, it's not just his veins, it's his skin. His skin is this patchy Sonic blue. And he looks down at his feet, and his feet are hedgehog shaped. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh no, what's happening to me? Chili dogs!
I was literally just about to say, I have a sudden urge for chili dogs. Oh, you beat me to it. Damn it.
So he goes, what's happening to me? Chili dogs! and John Carpenter is no longer John Carpenter. He is Sonic the Hedgehog.
He is John Sonic.
He is John Sonic the Hedgehog. He looks like a hedgehog. He loves chili dogs just like a hedgehog. He is Sonic the Hedgehog.
And with that, he says the classic catchphrase, "Gotta go, John," and spin dashes out of the interrogation room, and then bounces off the walls out of the Sonic Team headquarters. And
while he bounces, just rings fall out of him.
Yep, rings are falling out. But before he leaves, he happens to pass by in the atrium of the office, a giant statue of Sonic, and he stands there looking up longingly at his dear friend, and then he actually places his hand on the statue. And with this, the statue starts to rumble. The statue starts to move. And the bronze that is encasing this statue melts away. And it's actually a giant Sonic underneath that they cast in bronze. And it's an actual Sonic the Hedgehog.
And that Sonic goes, "Hey, thanks for freeing me. You want to go get some chili dogs?"
And yes. And then Sonic and Jonic.
Sonic
and Jonic go hand in hand to the nearest Wiener Schnitzel and share chili dogs for the rest of the day.
The end?
The end. Oh my god.
Fantastic.
That was great.
That was wonderful.
That was hilarious. That was a great excuse to just talk about Sonic and just fucking make fun of Sonic for 20 minutes. Oh, that was fun.
Oh my god.
So for all you non-gamers out there that have never heard of Sonic the Hedgehog, we're sorry.
Also, where have you been that you've never heard of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, go get a Sega Genesis and come back to us when you've played.
It might be a little expensive nowadays, but try.
Yeah, Retrons are pretty cheap. Just go get a Retron 5 and then go to your nearest vintage game store, buy Sonic the Hedgehog. Don't buy Sonic Spinball, and yeah, just play through that like 30 times.
And then you'll probably get it.
Yeah.
And then go play Sonic Boom.
And then, no. Just go read the Wikipedia pages on the rest of the Sonic games. But play Sonic Mania. That one's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool.
I mean, we haven't played it, but we've heard it was
cool. Oh, yeah. We've heard good things. Nothing but good things. So. Oh, man. What a great story that was.
I loved that story.
Yeah.
Chili dogs!
Chili dogs! We just gotta go get some chili dogs now, because...
I don't like chili dogs.
You don't like chili dogs?
I shouldn't say that. That's a lie.
If John Carpenter as Sonic gave you a chili dog, would you eat it?
Would it be from Yakko's?
Possibly. I mean, we could make that work.
Sure.
Okay, fair
enough.
I
love Yakos.
Fair enough. All right.
As someone who never grew up with a Yakos, I can now say that Yakos is life.
Shout out to local Lehigh Valley hot dog chain Yakos. We're not sponsored by them, but we love you. If you're looking to sponsor a podcast, hit us up.
Please.
If you're listening, we'll take payment in hot dogs. We really don't care.
Or pierogies. I am a fan of your pierogies.
Yes.
Please.
We love all your food. But yeah, so that was the first story, episode 4. Mm-hmm. Very early in our run, but some good stuff there.
I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah, it was that early.
I thought it was actually like closer to the 10s.
Yeah, you forget how long we've been doing this after a while.
I mean, really, I forget all the time.
Yeah.
But then again, I forget where I am.
Exactly.
I forget my name.
I have to lead you places. That's why I'm always with you.
I'm old. What can I say?
Exactly.
I look 24, but really I'm 95. Just as old as Yakos.
24 going on 100.
Yep.
Basically.
My everyday.
Yeah. So now we move from episode 4, the first third of our show, to our middle third, the Middle Ages of the first year. We're
doing like a weird triptych kind of thing.
We kind of are,
but with audio instead of wood and oil.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to school for art history.
So yeah, this next episode was episode 17, which featured one of our favorite guests of all time, Jeremy Ballin.
He was also our second.
He was our third guest.
Third.
Justin Passano, Dan Ford, and then Jeremy Ballin.
Dan Ford.
Yeah.
This is probably this is the only story in which when I promoted it on Instagram, I actually made a promotion poster for it. And I never did that again because that takes effort.
Yeah, but it was fun, and we had a really fun Twitter poll that went out with this this story that actually people really responded to it and took to it. It ended up being a 50-50 split.
Really?
Yeah, that poll ended up being a 50-50 split.
I think that's the best way to end.
Yeah. So for folks that didn't listen to that episode, this story, there was an article that came out months ago where John Cena was interested in, well, it was actually at the Nickelodeon Upfronts.
Yes.
They had the Upfronts, and they had John Cena out there at the Upfronts because he was the host of the Kids' Choice Awards. Mm-hmm. But he came out in Steve Burns' like the shirt from Blue's Clues that Steve Burns would wear, and he basically said, "Yeah, I want to be the next host of Blue's Clues."
And that turned into John Cena being the next host of Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went on a tangent for a little bit about how people thought Steve Burns was dead.
And didn't like TMZ publish an article? I think we got it, or there was an article that somebody posted that said like Steve Burns would fight John Cena to.
Right. Yeah, then I think that was the article.
Yeah, because it was from Not the Onion that we pulled it from.
Yeah,
that Steve Burns would fight John Cena to be the host.
Yeah.
Of Blue's Clues for the reboot, and yeah, we told this amazing story with so many different layers to it.
I loved it.
It was amazing, and Jeremy being our third in that story just made it even better because
he made it go over the top.
Oh yeah,
like I think if it was just me and you, it wouldn't have been as like spectacular as it was.
Yeah.
Jeremy is just like this awesome weaver of stories, in my opinion, like of everything improv.
Yeah.
Anything comedy related he does, I'm all over it.
Jeremy is an amazing comedic mind. He does a lot of video work. I did a show with him recently where he came up with this like 90-second ad for a fake product, but it's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. I'm gonna actually link to it in the description of this episode because I love it so much and I want you all to see it, and it needs to be seen. It's hilarious. It's for a fake product called Star Shitter. So I'll put the link to that in the description of this video. I won't tell you anymore. You should go check it out. But you should listen to this story with us and Jeremy talking about the fight of the century, Steve Burns versus John Cena for the right to host Blue's Clues. Let's get into it.
These are both really good. They're always so good. This is a good... I'm going to say Steve Burns.
Steve Burns and John Cena.
Because you like wrestling, and I like children's television.
Our two favorite things collided.
This works perfect.
Oh, boy. So, as we all know, Blue's Clues was a show that ran in the 1990s on Nickelodeon with Blue dog that was animated, 2D animated. That would help children learn different things, and Steve was the host, and he would also help children learn. And as we all know, John Cena is a well-decorated WWE superstar with 16 world titles to his name. So
children also love John
Cena.
Oh.
Children love Blue, and they also love John Cena.
It's that blue and green combo you can't ignore.
So when word got out recently that Blue's Clues was going to be rebooted, John Cena, in his home in West Newbury, Massachusetts, was sitting on his throne made of headbands and jorts, and he was thinking to himself, what can I do to make children like me even more? Because they wear my T-shirts, they wear my headbands, they wear my armbands. They go see Ferdinand, still in theaters, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not plugging no free ads on this show. Ferdinand is not getting plugged.
They like to buy his tiny little towels that he carries around in his back pockets. That he throws into crowds.
So he's like, what else can I do to endear myself to children? I know. Audition for a reboot of a show that happened 20-some years ago, and then people will continue to like me for the next 20 years.
Cut to a dark apartment in Lower Brooklyn. A single light is lit in the corner. Steve Burns sits alone. He turns on Nickelodeon from his thinking chair, and he sits down and begins to watch the Nickelodeon Kids Awards and sees John Cena get on stage dressed in the very outfit with which he made his millions.
And of course, as John Cena comes out, you hear...
But for Steve, it's more like in minor key, because to him everything is just falling apart. So it's just like slowly just spiraling down the toilet drain, just like, oh no. Just seeing everything fall apart. And like the thing with Steve is that he would love to, go and try and get his old hosting job back. But we all know that Steve was let go due to hair loss.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually true.
That's very true. He started losing his hair, and Nickelodeon was like, bye. He was also not well liked at Nickelodeon, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Again,
that's good.
True.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, but Steve, he'd actually been working for years to get back into Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah.
And Nickelodeon didn't even know it. Years ago, when Nicktoons became a thing, Steve actually went undercover into Nickelodeon's animation studios and got a job as an animator. And if you've heard the stories of in Disney movies where they'll have hidden penises in the background of all the movies.
Was he drawing penises everywhere?
Steve got hired as an animator on SpongeBob SquarePants. And every episode he worked on, if you look really closely in the background, you'll see that there is a very clear penis in the sky, because you know how the sky looks like flowers, but actually you'll look around, if you look closely, there's some penises there. That was his doing. He was under a pseudonym of, I think it was Dale Dickland was his name.
And Dale Dickland was never caught, but as a signature, he put a teeny tiny Mr. Salt and Mr. Pepper, also very phallic, in the corner. Should anyone discover the penises within, they would know the Banksy stylings of Dickland. What was his name?
Dick Dickland.
Dickland. Animator extraordinaire.
Oh my god.
And this continued not only on SpongeBob, but over numerous shows over a 5-year period.
As Told by Ginger.
Wild Thornberries.
He actually did it into the animation of the name of Clarissa Explains It All at the beginning.
Oh, man.
Which preceded him slightly.
But because I know they did remastered versions for DVD, DVD, that's when he did it. Yeah, he was hired as a contractor for it. But yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of shitty that he was doing that, but
Terrible.
Also work of genius.
Yeah,
just no one ever has been as talented as Steve
And look
Burns.
how well SpongeBob did in some of these other shows. I mean, the success is due unquestionably to Mr. Dickland.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So as we cut back to the Brooklyn apartment, and we see Steve in his thinking chair, you hear in the background, very faintly, "You just got a letter You just got a letter. You just got a letter. Check out who it's from. And you see a letter just slide. A letter slides underneath his apartment door.
Here's your mail.
He gets up. All the beer cans on the thinking chair fall off.
Kicks them off.
Kicks them off. Walks over. Picks up the letter.
Huh?
He opens it, and it's a video. John Cena. John's just in the video, just saying, "Steve, how's it going, my man? John Cena, 16-time world champion here. I just want to let you know, man, I love your work on Blue's Clues, but your time is up. My time is now, and I'm going to be the new host of Blue's Clues. So I'd like your blessing, and I'm going to need to see Blue as soon as possible. So get her over here."
So Steve takes that letter, tears it into shreds in a fit of very slow, angry, and weak rage, throws them in the air and says, "Alexa, call my agent."
"Yes, Steve."
"Listen to me. It's me, Steve Burns. You watching the Nick Kids Awards right now?"
"Yeah, I'm watching the Nick Kids Awards, Steve. What do you want?"
"So you see that effigy of me, that John Cena piece of garbage up there, pretending to do my dances, pretending to move my moves, sing my songs?"
"John's talented. What are you going to do? He's a talented guy. He's big. He's strong. The kids love him. You got to understand."
"The kids love him because they're scared of him. They're terrified of him. He's a bully. And I don't stand for any bullies. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, agent, special agent. I am going to fight that man to the death."
"Oh, really now?"
"Really now."
"Well, looks like I'll have to set something up here because this is gonna make some money."
Yeah, it's going to make a lot of money. So you're going to need to set up a fight to the death ASAP stat.
"I'm going to call up HBO pay-per-view right now, and we're going to get something set up. So you just stay by the phone, Stevie, and I'll get back to you soon."
All right, I'm going to just sit here and flex a little bit. Bye.
So the fight was on. Steve Burns, John Cena, fight to the death. And this was no fake fight. This is a real fight where they're duking it out until one of them is dead. They shopped it to numerous networks. First they went to HBO, and HBO was like, "You fucking kidding me? Hell no. We got Sesame Street on here. We're actually like trying to be good. So just we have both ends of the spectrum. We've got boobs and sex on Game of Thrones, and we have Sesame Street. We don't need those two worlds colliding."
But Steve wouldn't let up, and he wrote them a very strongly worded letter pleading his case, stating that they had shows such as Sopranos and other shows with plenty of violence, and that they should let him fight his fight.
And they finally relented, and they agreed, under the condition that John Cena then got a 5-picture deal with HBO Films after it was over. And Steve wouldn't get anything.
So Steve knew he had to get ready for this, so he started training in the only way Steve Burns can, gently. He went down to his rumpus room where he had all sorts of those inflatable sandbag-weighted clown things, except instead of the clown face, he cut out pictures of John Cena and gently taped them to it with 2-sided tape that kept falling off, so he then glued them permanently.
And he also had, you know how they had like in the old days those wrestling buddies, where it was those little figures that you could like wrestle with, and they have John Cena ones. He bought like 50 of those and would just train slamming them up in the ground and just against walls. Just, this is as close as I'm going to get to slamming him right now. And just throwing him around, putting him in chokeholds and everything like that.
He bit off a couple of years on him.
He did.
He got very talented at that, I would say.
He also got a staph infection from eating the rubber.
The one question I have, though, if he was in an apartment in Brooklyn, how did he afford a space that has a rumpus room?
Actually, Steve Burns purchased an old auto garage.
Okay.
And it had like it was a garage and then two like garden apartment style buildings on the side with a center open area, and he had it in a very hipster fashion remade into like a modern cool house with a geranium. What do you call the space for plants to grow in and stuff in the middle.
Like
it has anium.
Arboretum? No.
It's an arboretum.
Something like that.
There's plants in the middle of his house. Like he has an outdoors square in the middle of his house.
Okay.
And it's in Brooklyn, and from the outside, it still looks like a garage.
Wow.
So totally
there's
unassuming.
Plenty of room for it. It's very assuming, but you would assume it was a garage.
He also gets a lot of people coming by like late at night with their like beat up Toyota Corolla, just like, "Hey, you open? I got this broken down.
Yep.
You gotta fix it." And he's like, "Sir, no, you're gonna have to go away."
He eventually had to put up a sign that said "No auto fixing here,"
even though he kept the sign up that says "Auto Garage." Just because he liked the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And it's Brooklyn.
It looked retro.
Yeah, exactly. So Steve...
plenty of room for a rumpus room.
Yes. So Steve's been training for months. However, John, on the other hand, didn't take his opponent as seriously. I mean, we all know John Cena. John Cena is an enormous man with enormous muscles that can deadlift hundreds of pounds. He can squat over 1,000 pounds, I think, last I've heard. So he's like, I'm just gonna sit and watch television. And
you're gonna sit and watch SpongeBob.
That's what he did. For 3 months, he watched nothing but SpongeBob SquarePants. And actually, funny enough, he was fascinated by searching for all the hidden penises that he had no idea were done by Steve Burns. And he looked through and he's like, "Oh, there's another penis." Yeah. And next episode, "Look at that, there's another penis." And he'd be sitting there with his wife, and his wife is just, What are you doing? And
his wife kept wondering why he kept over seasoning his food. He's so much salt and pepper on all of the food that his poor wife made, and she thought that maybe she wasn't seasoning them well. It really broke her heart a little bit.
Little did she know it was the subliminal messaging from SpongeBob that was causing him to over season his food.
But this caused a little bit of a rift between him and his wife, who felt that he was a little bit distant, and that the seasoning of his food was an insult to her, all the work that she puts into his career, because she gave up her career, and here he is, a big popular wrestler on places like the Nick Jr. Awards, and she's at home just cooking up dishes for him.
Yeah, she gave up her career because his wife is actually a wrestler. She gave up her career as a wrestler so her husband could continue to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
man, it's
so Jellybag Sanchez was no more.
She Jellybag Sanchez was a star in Lucha Libre in Mexico.
That's right.
You heard of names like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and then Jellybag Sanchez. Those were the 3 most popular names in Mexico in the early 2000s.
Her name is how she got you. You just stand in the middle of the ring. Jellybag, can you just say it one more time? Just slowly this time.
And then all of a sudden, she'd pull out of the back of her tights a jelly bag and just slap her opponent in the face.
That was her finishing move.
That was her finishing move. Technically, it should get you disqualified, but in their case, the ref was like, "What? Yeah. Okay, they're down. 1, 2, 3."
That's right. And when John Cena saw her performing, he got these hearts in his eyes that were started out as small hearts, but then they became big hearts, and then small hearts again. Then they went to big hearts, and small hearts again, and then went to big hearts, and they made like a truck sound, like "ooh," like that kind of thing. And she saw him in the audience, and she said, "You will be my man." And yeah, they've been doing great ever since until today.
Until today, when just a few days before the fight, Jellybag Sanchez couldn't take it anymore, and she filed for divorce.
Yes,
it left John devastated, but
crying and eating ice cream. Why did you leave me right before my fight? My big fight.
My big fight with Steve. How am I gonna beat Steve without somebody in my corner? And and John was despondent. He was just depressed. Yeah. There was no getting him out of his funk. However, Steve, over the course of 4 months, he put on 25 pounds of muscle. Yes. 25 pounds of pure muscle. Mm-hmm. No steroids, nothing. Just all natural. Steak, potatoes, and throwing around car parts. Because even though he converted that auto garage, there were still parts in there. So he was lifting bumpers, he was throwing rims everywhere. That's how you work out in an old auto garage. You're just throwing around parts that are left around.
Yeah, and if you go in there to this day, the rumpus room is still filled with all sorts of car parts with John Cena's head on them. A bumper with John Cena's head, a tire with John Cena's head, another tire with John Cena's head. Over there's a tire with John Cena's head. Where'd the fourth tire go?
He actually ate it because he got so mad at one point that he just ate the tire because he was, I'm so mad at John! He just had to eat the tire because he couldn't look at it anymore.
Absolutely.
Which is why there's only 3 tires. Yes. So fight day arrives. Steve is looking jacked.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking ready to go. And John, in the span of 3 days, John has gained 25 pounds of fat from eating nothing but Ben & Jerry's and pizza.
And all of it is in his neck and his tummy. So he's still pretty ripped, but he's also very Buddha-ish.
Yeah. He's got sort of a dad bod going on. Yes. Without having children.
Yeah. And his hair got, like, curlier and long. We never really get to see it get very long, but it's like he's got like a curly 70s Welcome Back Kotter haircut.
So they both make their entrances. John makes his typical but of course the whole time he's coming out, he runs out of breath by the time he runs out from behind the curtain. But he comes out to the ramp. He's like, he can barely lift the little towel up in the air to show all the kids.
Instead of throwing it, he's just dabbing himself.
He's just getting all the sweat off of him. Yeah, so he doesn't run down to the ring like he normally does. He just calmly walks.
He just calmly walks, tries to save himself.
Yep.
And he tries to play it off as like, no, I'm just stoic and badass because I'm risking my life for kids' television. Right. What are you doing on the couch?
So he makes his way, and then Steve, he comes out to like this badass metal music. It's like I'm talking like Slayer. He comes out to Raining Blood by Slayer, and he's got a baseball bat with barbed wire in one hand and a steel chair in the other hand, and he just screams at the top of his lungs when he comes out. He's just and runs down to the ring, throws the foreign objects inside, and slides in, and gets right up in John's face and just staring him down, all wild-eyed. Just, I'm coming for you.
And meanwhile, John Cena's just staring back, and it's like a sad puppy. Like, you just kind of want to pet him and tell him it's going to be okay, but also, like, he's about to die.
Yeah.
So that would be a lie.
And the audience has been following along with what's been happening to John Cena, and they're very sympathetic to him.
Yeah.
So the tables are really turned on the audience's favor, and they empathize so much with John Cena, and they really detest Steve Burns because they feel that he drove them to it, even though they don't even know that he actually did drive them to it. They just blame him because the way that the media spun it. So we're all expecting people to be proud of Steve for standing up to the big mean bully, and the tables have turned on Steve, and he's the piece of garbage. He's the monster that's the bully now.
Yeah. It's amazing what happens in 3 weeks on Twitter. Twitter videos and tweets will just completely change his opinions.
Absolutely.
He periscoped eating the fourth tire.
It got like a million live views.
Like really popular.
Yeah.
People called an ambulance. They thought he was for sure going to die.
Yeah, and he was really bummed out because initially he had tried to Vine it, but Vine was gone, and he ate the whole tire for nothing.
And then he tried to do it for Instagram too. But then he realized, shit, I only get like a minute and a half. That's not enough time to eat this whole tire.
No, he needed more time.
So when he started the Periscope, he was like 3/4 of the way done with the tire. He's like, well, I already ate the face, so...
now I'm just eating rubber.
Now you guys just watch me eat a quarter tire.
What's the point anymore?
So they're in the ring. Bell rings. Fight begins. You know, Steve starts off going at him with some haymakers. Just boom, boom, boom. Right to John's face, and John's just trying to cover up because he's just like, I'm not expecting this. This is not what I'm not used to real punches.
My fights are scripted.
And the audience is boo, boo.
Yeah, it's very rare in this case to hear John Cena being cheered that much because typically it's like very half and half with him. Like with wrestling fans, it's you either hate him or you love him. So in this case, it's like they're all behind him. So hearing that like that those boos on Steve just gives Cena this burst of energy and this will to fight. So Cena comes back, just starts punching him in the gut, kicking him in the gut, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Steve Steve reaches down, pulls the steel chair, bam, hits Cena in the head.
Smashes him right in the head. And then he grabs his side table drawer and he takes it out and he asks him, hey, side table drawer, what move do I do next? And he goes, do the punchy. So he brings over the side table drawer right in front of him and everybody's wondering what's going on. And John Cena's not even moving. He's just depressed, man. And he puts down side table drawer. Side table drawer extends the drawer right into John Cena's nuts.
Oh.
And the audience just gasps. Oh, man. And then he says, I'm the Steve I never fail. I'm the Steve I never fail. Here it comes another whale. And he kicks him in the nuts and he goes, whale! And then he takes out his thinking pad and he draws a whale. And it's really cute and plump and it looks like a different hand drew it.
And then, because of course his thinking pad is this magical pad, this whale that he draws flies out from off the pad into real life in the middle of the air like Free Willy and then lands right on top of John. Splat. And John is beaten down. It's only 30 seconds into this match and he's already looking worse for wear than he's ever looked before. Yeah,
and the audience looks like the crowd at the Hindenburg. They're all just crying and brokenhearted and holding one another.
Yeah.
It's tragic.
And John's just thinking to himself, man, all of this over just a silly kid's show? I didn't think it would come to this.
And at that very moment, from the crowd, Jellybag Sanchez run in. And she says, John, take these jelly bags. And she throws jelly bags at John. John catches the jelly bags. They give him strength because he knows there's still love inside.
It's like Popeye. Yes. Instead of spinach, it's jelly bag.
But he did eat one of the jelly bag. And she said, no, don't eat the jelly bag. Hit him with the jelly bag. He rises to his feet slowly. There's triumphant music for some reason as he gets taller and taller. And his tummy gets a little tiny bit smaller, but it makes like a sound effect and goes, oop. And then he looks at him and he says, Steve, eat a jelly bag, and throws a jelly bag right at Steve's head. Steve tips over as if on roller skates. Blackened and his ego bruised, he stands up slowly and says, don't hit me, mister. Don't hit me. I just want to be Steve again. I miss the kids. I miss my friends. I miss Magenta, the neighbor's kid. I miss them all. Come on, Johnny Cena. You're taking all I got.
And with that, John looks at Steve and says, you know what? I don't think I ever really wanted this gig anyway. I thought it was for me, but now I realize I'm actually where I should be. In the ring. In front of crowds. In front of these people. Doing what I love. Fake wrestling.
That's right. And as he turns around and the crowd is so happy and feeling wonderful for him and showering him with flowers, Steve slowly rises behind him, picks up his thinking chair, and smashes it over John Cena's poor head. John Cena looks around and goes, what? And then falls asleep in the thinking chair.
With that, they thought that John Cena was dead. Like, he wasn't moving anymore, so they were like, all right, well, I guess we have a winner. And so they go on stage, and they hand Steve the contract, and Steve is looking it over and reading over the contract, and he goes, you know what? I think I'm just going to go make music with the Flaming Lips. And then he just throws the contract on John Cena and walks away.
When John came to, he saw the contract. He looked at it. He said, I'm just going to go be with Jellybag now. And he walks away from the contract. And that's what led to the open casting call for the Blue's Clues auditions last week.
Wayne Cohn of the Flaming Lips sees this, goes down to audition as Blue's Clues, and suggests that they change the art direction a little bit of the show, and it becomes a very, very psychedelic HR Puffin Stuff-esque 2D animation of multiple eyeballs and spinning twirlies in the background. Lots of pinwheel play and all sorts of shenanigans take place on Blue's Clues these days.
And Nickelodeon executives who were in the audition looked at him and were like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. It works. That works.
The kids will love it.
Yeah.
Approved. Big old stamp right on top of the script. The end.
And that's how we got Blue's Clues and the Electric Spectacular Wonderful Machine Time. Episode 1.
Coming June 2018. Holy shit. That was a roller coaster ride. Oh my god.
I was sad, but then I was glad.
It ended up working out for everybody. Everybody was battered and bruised, but they left happy. So
except that tire. That tire didn't make out.
That tire.
R.I.P. fourth tire.
Yeah.
hashtag fourth tire lives on.
Periscope, you can still find it in some place.
Yeah. Wow. What a battle. What a battle between Steve Burns and John Cena.
What side of that fight do you lie on?
As much as I love wrestling, and as much as I think John Cena would beat the crap out of Steve Burns, I think Steve's a scrapper.
I think Steve could do it.
Yeah, I mean he lives in a converted garage in Brooklyn.
That's something else
that was the whole
discovered.
Thing. Yeah.
Well, also, yes, in the story, he lives in a converted garage, but in real life, he lives in a converted garage in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And that was just too uncanny.
Because I think Jeremy linked us to that article afterwards, and we just freaked out.
Died. We were like, "You've got to be kidding!"
It was hilarious. It was one of the funniest things that we'd seen. We've come to our final story of this retrospective of the first year, and boy, this was a doozy. This was a doozy from episode 31, just a few weeks ago, actually, where it was the first appearance of my twin sister, Emily Williamson.
One of the funniest people I've ever met.
One of the most requested guests from Lynn.
Well, yes, because she constantly was like, "When can I be on?" And I was like, "Whenever." You can come on whenever.
She constantly jokes like, "Oh, I'm funnier than Evan. I'm so much funnier than Evan."
And I would be like, "Yes."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we finally decided to put that to the test and bring her on.
And guess what? She was right.
She was right. She was very, very right. She was absolutely hilarious. It was one of the funniest recording sessions I think we've ever had.
Yes.
And this story I think is a great example of that. We've affectionately called this story Lemon Lollapalooza. It involves Don Lemon, the noted host from CNN, a lemon farm. I forget where it was, Indiana, Illinois, somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah.
A music festival, Lemon M. A lot of just lemon puns.
Yes.
One of the funniest lines ever delivered on the series, I'd say, to this point.
Yes. And we will keep it for the episode.
Oh, you will know, because we both laughed super heartily. Probably one of the biggest laughs I've given on the history of the show at this point. But all around, a hilarious story. That whole episode was just great banter between the three of us.
Yes.
Worked very well together. So it's definitely a reason why you'll be seeing Emily around a lot more often in the coming weeks and months and
heck yeah
years on this show.
I am willing to have her on whenever she wants to.
Yeah. Great guest. A great story. So enough. You know what? I'm just going to shut up.
Yeah. Let's just shut up.
Let's just shut up and have you listen to it. Take a listen. Enjoy. So I think we're all in agreement. We want to tell the story about the man who was smuggling 800 pounds of.
He was busted having 800 pounds of lemons. So I guess he was but why are you smuggling?
Well,
where are they illegal?
Well, then I guess we should get into that.
Okay.
All right. So the main protagonist of this whole story is actually noted CNN reporter Don Lemon. Don Lemon in his off time. Mm-hmm. He runs his own lemon farm.
Yeah.
Don Lemon's lemon farm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lemon Lollapalooza is what other people like to call it.
Yeah.
And I mean that's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's a lemon Lollapalooza.
Literally lemon everywhere.
Yeah. He runs a 4-day music festival at his lemon farm under the same name, Lemon Lollapalooza.
Yes.
Everyone has to dress like a lemon. That's the only way you get in.
Yep.
You
the
have
only
to
thing
wear
they
yellow.
serve is lemonade.
Yep. It's a very sour. You leave and your throat and your tongue is just dry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
From all of the lemons.
Not everybody makes it out of Lemon Lollapalooza alive.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
What?
The acid just.
Oh, it just eats away at them.
Some people just can't handle it. You really have to prepare.
If you have a sensitive tummy, this is not the
the
music
place
festival for you.
Yeah. But in order for Don Lemon to keep his Don Lemon's Lemon Farm Lemon Lollapalooza going, you need to have lemons.
Yes.
And the only way you make lemons is on your lemon farm. But the problem is nowadays, it's much harder to maintain a farm, especially with his crazy work schedule at CNN. Mm-hmm. So he's gone to the trouble of stealing lemons from other farms.
Yeah. He's a dirty, filthy thief.
He's a dirty lemon thief.
But they don't just take a couple lemons at a time. They go big.
They take hundreds and hundreds of lemons at a time.
Yes.
From Larry Lemon.
Yeah.
Larry Lemon's.
And Luann.
Larry and Luann Lemon. Yeah, Larry and Luann Lemon.
She cleans all the lemons before they are allowed to steal.
Oh, she's great.
By hand.
Mm-hmm.
By hand?
She won't let a lemon leave that property without being scrubbed until it shines.
Yes.
Those are the shiniest lemons this side of the Mississippi.
Shiniest lemons.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, who doesn't love a good shiny lemon?
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's worthy
Yeah.
of your lemonade and your lemon chicken and your...
Lemon chicken? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Lemon pepper chicken? Yeah.
Oh, lemon pepper chicken.
Yeah.
Got it. Sorry about
Do
that.
anything like that? Like.
Yeah, you can't have that.
It's how you know it's good for your shrimp.
Yeah.
Iced tea.
Iced tea.
Yeah.
Restaurant water.
Lemon lime soda.
Restaurant water. No.
No.
You heard that from her?
No.
Folks.
That's why Evan's appendix went boom.
Folks, PSA from the forensic scientist here. Take it away.
Don't use the lemons in your water
At the restaurant.
at the restaurant. Don't do it. You will not make it to Lemon Lollapalooza if you eat those lemons. Don't do it.
So we have Larry and was it Luann? You said
Yes, Luann.
Larry and Luann Lemon, who own a competing lemon farm just down the road from Don Lemon's Lemon Farm, Lemon Lollapalooza.
The only way you get land anywhere near these lemon farms is if your last name is Lemon.
Yeah.
Or you sell Lululemon.
Oh yeah. So it's basically on this stretch of road. It's Lemon Lane.
Yes.
Yeah, Lemon Lane in Lemon, Nebraska. You can only have a Lululemon store, or you have to have a lemon farm,
Yes.
or a restaurant that specializes in lemon cuisine.
Correct.
Those are the only three conditions that you
Or
can.
you dress like a lemon 24/7.
Only
Then
thing
you fit
want.
right in.
Yeah.
So there's one person there that just
There's
constantly.
a homeless dude for a bit dressed like a lemon. He knew he could get free food that
Yes.
way. And he would pretend to be a lemon on people's farms. That way at night he could just take a lemon, bite it, and be on his way.
Like, it was kind of like the scarecrow, but it was just
The
a
scare
lemon.
lemon.
Yeah. He kept everything away.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Including people who didn't have the last name of Lemon.
Interesting.
He
What-
kept Lemon Street pure.
His name was also Lenny, so like
Kind of went.
Lemon,
Okay.
If you said it incorrectly.
And he loved Lemony Snicket, so they were like, "Come on in."
Oh man. So okay. So now that Larry and Luann Lemon.
This
They're
is going to get very difficult.
It's gonna get-
Everyone follow along, take notes.
Yes. So Larry and Luann Lemon have had their farm pillaged by Don Lemon, but they've had no idea. Because, Don Lemon's Lemon Farm, Lemon Lollapalooza has become so successful.
Why would he need to steal from
Why would he need to steal from anybody? But they've noticed that their crops are becoming, much shorter. They're not having as much return on, on their farm, and they're trying to figure out why. At first they think it's a local wildlife coming in and destroying their farm because there's been a rash of beavers running through the farms just eating lemons.
Taking them to build dams.
Yep.
There's lemon dams all over the
Oh
damn
yeah,
place.
the lemon peels are great for dams. You okay over there?
Yep.
That get you pretty good?
Yeah, that was good. Beavers.
Well, we all know beavers like citrus.
I mean, all animals like lemon,
Oh yeah, yeah.
especially small animals like make little boats out of the peels.
Like little field mice.
Yeah.
Frogs use lemon peels as lily pads.
Yeah.
Lemon pads, actually.
Lemon pads, yes, correct.
Yes.
They smell good too.
Yeah. Yeah. So with this, Larry and Luann Lemon decided to set up cameras on their farm to catch whoever was doing, who was stealing their lemons. And the first few nights they didn't really notice anything. Just some creatures running through some field.
And
mice.
Lenny.
And Lenny.
The scare lemon.
Yes, Lenny the scare
Lenny
lemon.
is a creature within himself.
That is
honestly.
true.
Yeah.
They saw him take a few, but they were like,
Whatever, that's fine.
It's Lenny. What is he
Yeah.
gonna do?
good old Lenny.
Yeah.
Lenny the lemon licker, as they like to call
Yeah,
him.
that's how he ate them. He would lick them till they're gone.
Yep. Took him a while.
Wait.
Do you know how many licks it takes to get the center of a lemon? Lenny does.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my god,
That's tough.
That was good. That was
Yes,
really good.
But that's tough. Imagine.
I can only imagine. Because if you're not, because even if you don't peel the lemon, you're just licking through the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Years.
Oh God.
His tongue is like a fucking
He
cat.
doesn't have one. He had to replace it with sandpaper.
Wait.
Oh, God.
Oh God.
Yeah, because it was gone.
So it doesn't even taste good. It just is.
Nope. It's just
Jesus.
fuel for his
Fuel for his
lemon.
scarecrow life.
yes. It's tough. He lives a tough life.
Okay, so as we mentioned, the first few days nothing showed up on the cameras, but come like the weekend, they noticed there was some more activity, and they noticed there were more lemons gone. So they checked the footage, and they noticed that there was a cloaked figure running through the field, just chopping down lemon plant after lemon plant after
He
lemon
would
plant.
tiptoe the way that the Grinch does, and how the Grinch stole Christmas.
But he wore
He
like
wore a lemon on his head, so he fit in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
giant lemon.
Yeah, because it's a big head.
just a comically large lemon hat on his
Yes.
head.
Because they wanted to fit in.
That's where he put the lemons when he would steal them. He would take off his hat, shove the lemons in there, put his hat back on.
Yeah.
He did have some fall out over the course of the course of the robbery.
Yes.
Yeah, because there was a trail of lemons.
Yeah.
Leading to the escape.
Yeah, but luckily, even though they followed the trail and found out, it just led out to the front gate because by that point, all the overflowing lemons had gone out of his hat, so he didn't have to
He
worry
put them in
about
his mouth. And he left over.
Like a chipmunk.
Yeah, just
What was that?
I don't know.
Yep. Is that how you sound when you put lemons in your mouth?
I've never put a lemon in my mouth. I can't say.
Yeah, you're a liar.
What?
I've known you for 24 years.
This feels like a very weird 2-on-1 that I was not expecting.
I've definitely seen you put a whole lemon in your mouth.
I have not done that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You are a liar.
Huh?
So anyway, Larry and Luann Lemon had to figure out who this masked figure, what this hooded, lemon-headed figure was, and they didn't really know who to narrow it down to. They thought maybe it was the manager of the Lululemon store down the road,
Because they found him there before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they found him there after hours one evening. He was
He was a little drunk.
He was a little drunk.
He wanted some good old iced tea.
It was after Black Friday. It was a long day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Went out drinking at the
Yeah.
local lemon bar down the street.
Had a couple limoncello shots.
Yep. Ooh, that'll get you messed up real quick.
Yeah.
And they just found him in the field, just chucking lemons all over the place. It's like, fucking hate these lemons. They suck. Just throwing them everywhere. And
But good thing Lenny tackled him. So.
Oh yeah, Lenny.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Lenny doesn't put up with that bullshit. Disgracing those lemons.
Oh yeah.
Nope. His love for lemons took over.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Get the hell out of here,"
Yeah.
and scared him away with his sandpaper tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he does to scare people away. He takes out his sandpaper tongue and just
He's like, ah. Yep. I mean, I'd run.
I would.
If I saw somebody wearing a lemon costume
Oh yeah.
with the sandpaper tongue, I'm out of there.
Yeah, that's
Forget it.
That's next level like horror movie crap. That,
Right. Yeah.
Like you don't want to be around.
Yeah. Forget Michael Myers.
Oh yeah.
I'll go out to dinner with him. But Lenny in a lemon suit with a sandpaper tongue,
Nah,
not for me.
not for you. So they ruled out the guy from the Lululemon. Who else was another person they ruled out? Having trouble remembering.
Laura.
Laura.
Yeah.
Laura Lemon.
Laura Lemon.
No, Laura Lime.
Oh.
Yeah, she was obsessed with limes and didn't quite understand the whole. What's the difference between a lime and a lemon?
Oh,
So
that's
they
because
found her.
that's a very heated debate, the lime versus lemon
Yes.
debate. What's better? What do you use when? And
So she had enough. She said, "I'm gonna go figure out what the big deal is." Lenny got her too. Nobody ever saw her again, so that was quick.
wait, nobody saw her again?
No, her little lime patch,
Uh-huh.
gone. No one took care of it.
Huh.
And it was a disgrace to have them on Lemon Street, so.
Yeah, who thought that was a good idea?
How did they even let them on Lemon Street?
They disguised themselves.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden everything started turning green.
They just spray paint. Did they just spray paint all the limes
Yeah.
yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. But they didn't do a very good job.
Yeah, people were just like, "What are these short round lemons?" And she goes, "It's a new hybrid.
It's a
$20 pop.
It's a lemon.
It's a lemon.
Lemon.
Yeah. And they were organic. So of course, she charged like so much money for them.
Right.
Silly
and then they caught on.
I'm gonna take a sidebar here for a second. How do they make these fruit hybrid things?
Have you ever had a grapple? Is it?
I've heard of it. How do they make them?
It has to do
Oh,
with
I've had one of those.
the grapples. I
think they just infuse apples with like a grape flavor.
Yeah.
Do they just like bump a grape against an apple a bunch of times
No,
until
I
it turns
don't
into
think
an
DNA
apple?
I
of the
really
plant.
don't think that's how that works.
I mean, I don't.
plant sex is not a thing.
I didn't know.
I do not think just rubbing an apple and a grape together. Last time I checked, that's not how you make a baby.
I think it has to do something with like its DNA and splitting the DNA or something.
Okay.
Like that.
But I think like the grapples, the way it just tasted like it just had like put some or grape flavor.
like they
in
just
an apple.
like they just stuck a syringe with a little bit of grape flavoring
Yeah.
into an apple and
It
just,
was a weird sensation.
That's what I
Love
hear.
grapes, not too big of a fan of apples, but it was just very
so
weird.
like the cronut.
I mean,
The cronut.
well, yeah, because
Croissant
they're
and donut.
That's not a fruit hybrid.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
it's a hybrid.
That's like more baking, so that's I guess what I would consider more chemical rather than biological, because a grapple is just a form of genetically modified food. You know what I
those
mean?
GMOs.
That's why.
Am
the
I right,
corn-
ladies and gentlemen?
That's why you get like the giant fields of corn and bigger fruits. That's all genetically modified food.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what a grapple is. Whereas what you're talking about, a crossover between baked goods, that's more or less a baker coming together and saying, I am going to take these ingredients and put them together.
Gotcha.
Have you tried cotton candy grapes?
I have not.
What the fuck is that?
They're disgusting.
They
Little pockets
sound
of
gross.
hell.
That sounds
Pockets
nasty.
of hell.
I saw them last year, never tried one. So we're at Giant, and I saw them, and I was like, I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna try it. It tastes like cotton candy, but it's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah, because is it like the texture of a grape?
It's a
though?
grape.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
it just tastes like cotton candy.
That just sounds weird.
Yeah.
That sounds like a weird biological crossover, or just a really.
I don't know who got drunk and was like, you know what would make these grapes so much better?
I'm a fucking scientist.
I
Watch
love
me.
the fair, so I want to put my cotton candy in my grapes and put them in a bag and eat them.
That's just a farmer that had way too much Pinnacle cotton candy vodka and
That's
just
the thing? Cotton candy?
Sounds
Pinnacle
gross.
makes all those different kinds
Yeah,
of
like
flavored
the
vodkas.
whipped cream and the
Ooh,
birthday
that's good.
cake.
You
and...
mix a little bit of the whipped cream. Side note, with some cherry Coke.
Oh, is it good?
That's a good drink.
Okay, so I think we're getting back to
Yeah, we have to get back on track here.
So
Sorry, I got
so was
excited.
so was what was her Lime?
Laura?
Laura Lime.
Laura Lime, yeah. So
Rest in peace.
From what we know, we haven't
Yeah.
found anything.
assumed dead.
I'm assuming it's
Lo-
been 37 years. So
Laura Lime assumed dead.
Yeah.
So
Laura, if you're out there, please contact the authorities.
Let
They're
us
looking
know.
for you. We're worried about you. Welcome home. You're welcome here.
Come home.
we assume you're
my
dead, but
God.
welcome home. So naturally, after narrowing down the list of suspects, the last potential suspect was Don Lemon. And
Yeah, because
Don Lemon's Lemon Farm Lemon Lollapalooza was just
I don't know how they didn't think of him first.
no, because I mean,
he had piles of lemons everywhere.
I mean, the guy started his lemon farm after being on CNN for how many years, and now just becomes a lemon sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And by that point, he was ready to quit CNN and just devote his full time to lemons.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, and he had so much success. He was rolling around in that lemon money.
He was literally rolling around in lemons too, because he had so many lemons on his farm to sell.
He had a lemon bed,
Mm-hmm.
lemon couch,
Lemon television.
lemon. Yeah, he cut a giant lemon,
Yep.
cut a square in it, and put his TV right inside.
Yep.
Yeah, because he had genetically modified lemons.
Yeah.
Made them big enough to put a TV in.
What did you just inject him with steroids or
Pretty
something?
much.
And that's and
He actually holds the world record for the largest lemon ever produced.
It was 8 miles around.
8 miles around?
around. So it like was a banana shaped lemon, or like
The
Like around what?
circumference.
okay.
Math terms.
Yes, circumference was 8 miles.
Jesus.
So I
He
wonder-
was a big Eminem fan,
Oh, I see.
so he really wanted to.
He was like this specifically.
he was
needs
just
to
like,
be
I
8 miles
need
long."
Eminem to notice my 8 mile lemon.
And then
Eminem did.
And then Eminem went on Twitter and was like, "That's a big lemon."
Yeah, he was like, "I will come to Lemon Lollapalooza next year."
Yeah, I'm gonna be the headliner.
Don Lemon's Lemon Farm Lemon Lollapalooza. Eminem the headliner.
Yes.
Eminem and Lemon.
Lemonem.
Oh God.
Lemonem.
Yep. Go figure. He actually changed his name to Lemon M.
Yep.
Of course he would.
Yeah.
It was changed on Twitter for a little bit. People got a little confused.
Yeah. They just thought he was promoting something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Laura and not Laura Lime, Larry and Luann Lemon.
Get it?
God
Straight,
damn.
Evan.
So many L's.
Don't forget Lenny.
Yes, Larry and Luann Lemon
With Lenny.
on
the lemon
farm.
Ooh, yeah.
They now had plenty of evidence. They now had plenty of evidence to present to Don Lemon of that he was the one.
You busted.
You busted.
But when they got there,
Gone.
he was gone.
He was gone. No trace of him.
Nope.
All
No
the
more lemons.
All the lemons were gone. Everything was.
There was one leftover lime. We were a little unsure how that was
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
That might have been where Laura was seen. Laura, if you're out there, please come home.
Welcome home.
home.
The hashtag for this episode should be hashtag welcome home Laura Lime.
We're looking for you.
It's the most confusing hashtag ever.
Hopefully there's not somebody out there named Laura Lime.
Oh God, please no.
If so, hello, Laura Lime. Welcome home.
So Larry and Luann, they did what they think they did what the only thing they knew they could do, which was to get on CNN and confront him directly.
Yes.
So
They had to go to the source,
yeah,
cut the head off, and all that.
they had to call CNN and be like, "Listen, we got a problem with one of your guys, Don Lemon.
Yeah.
He's been stealing lemons
What did they say?
He's been stealing lemons from our lemon farm, and we know it's him, and we need to confront him live on air." And they're like, "All right, why not? It'll probably make some good television. So, all right, we'll put you on."
Because they're all about those views.
They're all about that's what they're all about. They're all about views.
Yeah.
So they get it all set up. Larry and Luann, they're broadcasting live from their lemon farm, and in their shot, they decide to just put it outside in the lemon farm with Lenny in the background as the lemon scarecrow.
Yes.
Just on like a post.
T-pose
on a post, just in his lemon costume.
Good for Lenny.
Yeah.
Making the big time.
Gets that exposure.
He really needed that exposure.
He did.
He's had a
Yeah.
rough life, and
Yeah.
I think he really deserves that.
Yeah.
He had plenty of lemons to lick after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the time came for the interview. Larry and Luann were on TV, and then counts down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it cuts to Don Lemon, and he's just like, My next guests are a couple from a small town in Nebraska where all they do is grow lemons. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest, Larry and Luann Lemon. And he stops for a minute. He's like, "Oh no,
He's been busted.
he's been busted."
So they took out their lemon guns and pointed them straight at Don.
Well,
Where are the lemons?
The thing is, they were pointing them at the cameramen who were at their farm by proxy, pointing them at Don Lemon.
Right.
And
they
the-
knew those
Yeah.
lemon guns could go through the screen
Yeah.
and run into Don's eye.
Yeah, because all the acid
Yeah.
just
Right,
like
just
went right
eats away
through.
everything.
Let-
Just
and-
like your sensitive tummy.
And let's clarify, these lemon guns, these aren't like actual guns. They
Oh,
just,
no,
They just shoot
no.
lemon juice.
Yeah, no.
They're just lemons that shoot.
It's
lemon
like
juice.
rubber bullets, except when they hit, they explode and it's just lemon juice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have to hit you about 800 times before you're affected.
If
Yeah.
you get right in the eye, though,
Oh, it's
very effective.
madness. Yeah.
So you have to be a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as
Well, they've been practicing.
as soon as they've been practicing on Lenny,
Yeah, in the big lemon costume.
Yep.
Yeah.
T-posing.
it's a big target.
Yeah. So every afternoon
Yeah.
for their lunch break, they go out and shoot Lenny a couple times.
So after Don abruptly cuts off the interview, he's like, "I'm done with this." Don's like, "I gotta get out of town. I gotta get away from here. I can't figure this out anymore. I gotta just go." So Don actually, what he did was when he left the farm, he put all of his lemons in a storage unit just outside of the CNN headquarters, so he could always be close to the lemons and know where they are at all times.
Yeah.
So he decided to get his Toyota Prius, which I'm sure is probably what he drives. I don't know what he drives.
Wow, that's an assumption.
I don't know what he drives.
It's probably yellow
Probably a yellow car.
Probably yellow.
with a lemon air freshener.
Yes. He loads his car full of the lemons, as many as he could fit.
Actually, you know what? He probably doesn't even drive a lemon car. He probably doesn't even like lemons.
Really?
He's a fraud.
But hey,
That's
but
my personal
but that's
Fucking
That's my personal.
but that's
opinion.
what made his money.
Yeah, but that's just my personal.
I get it. I get it.
Okay.
So Don Lemon fills up his car with as many lemons as he possibly can. Gets about 800 pounds in there, and starts to drive off. But little to his knowledge.
So what went in the storage unit?
Lemons.
More lemons.
Yeah, it was
There's
just
about 1,500 pounds.
1,500 pounds of lemons in there.
Oh,
In
so
that
that's
lemon.
what I saw on that episode of Storage Wars because he stopped
Yeah.
paying that.
Yeah. They literally opened it and just like thousands
And that
of
poor
lemons.
guy spent $3,000 on that storage unit.
Yeah, it was the Dave guy. Just the yep.
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 He said, "Yep, I want that." And then he opened it and he was like, "Oh,
Shit.
damn it! I don't even like lemons."
It's just lemons. Damn it.
Yeah.
Lenny was excited though. He hopped in that lemon.
Yeah, he showed up. Lenny was there. Crazy. Lenny just pops up out of it. He can
He
sniff
just pops-
those
There's a
lemons out.
TV and lemons.
I love
I'll
me
be
some
your
lemons. Yup. He started yelling yup. He didn't have any money. He didn't have money, but he was like, yup, he wants it.
Can I hear 500? I hear 500 for lemon unit. Let me hear 500. And then you just Lenny's in the background like, yeah, I want them lemons.
Yep. Yeah. He just pops up everywhere. Good old Lenny.
He's probably outside right
Yeah.
now on our deck.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Lenny. We'll be out there
So
soon.
little to Don Lemon's knowledge, Larry and Luann, along with Lenny riding shotgun on the roof in his lemon costume, had managed to drive all the way to CNN's headquarters, and were waiting for him to leave. And so they
This happened very quickly.
Oh, it did. It happened very quickly. So they managed to catch up to him and were following him on the highway. And then all of a sudden, because you're not supposed to drive with somebody on your roof, the cops were following closely behind.
You're not. Wait, side note, you're not supposed to drive somebody on your roof?
No, you're not. That's not something you're supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
Is this something
Nope.
you have a problem with? That
Nope,
you
continue.
need?
Just asking.
Okay, fair enough.
For a friend.
Ruins my plans for the night. Let me tell you.
Huh? What?
Oh, she didn't tell you?
No, I think.
Okay, we'll go back to.
All right,
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
So Lenny was on the roof and the cops
Yes,
came.
Lenny was on the roof. The cops started following.
There were also helicopters.
Yeah, there were also.
They
Yeah,
were like, get that lemon off of your car now!
but they noticed that they were tailing very closely behind Don Lemon for a very particular reason. So they pull them all over, and the cops, tell everybody stay in the car, and they.
Well, it took Don Lemon a little bit.
Yeah.
He kind of kept driving.
Yeah.
But he
Well-
was also tossing lemons out of his car so
Yeah.
he could drive a little
He was just,
faster.
like tossing them
Yeah.
at the car.
Because he was
hoping
really
it
only going
Yeah.
about 45 and a 75.
Yeah.
That
So he
fucking
knew
asshole.
that weight was just slowing him down.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
doing well.
Yeah.
Using
So
it
the
as a
cops were
weapon.
like dodging the lemons
Yep.
and it was crazy.
Yeah. The cops ended up doing a pit maneuver, and all the lemons went flying around in
Yeah,
his car.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Really bad cleanup. I felt bad for
Oh
that.
yeah, but they managed to like, what are you doing with all these lemons? And Don just like, fine, I'll finally come clean. Stole all these lemons from you two. I wanted to be successful.
U2?
No, not
The band that put their album on everybody's iPhone?
no,
Oh,
not Bono. No, Bono doesn't have time for lemons.
Oh, okay.
He's too busy.
Buying a new pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, and infiltrating everyone's iPhone.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So Don was like, I wanted to be a successful lemon man. I wanted my name to mean something. So I had to steal from you, lemon folks.
Yes.
And at that point, they're like, "Well, gee, you could have just asked. We could have started a farm together."
Yeah, because they're nice people.
Yeah, they were nice people.
Yeah.
They're just
would've done
hardworking
it.
people that wanted to
They
start a
invited
business.
they invited Lenny in after he got that weird ass
Yeah.
sandpaper tongue.
Yeah, like
They didn't judge him.
yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, they're like, "Well, if you really care about the lemon business, why don't you just join us?"
And that's when the cop comes over and goes, "Nah, he's going to jail."
And that's when Lenny
Book 'em.
and that's when Lenny hopped off the roof in his lemon costume and drop kicked the police officer in his face.
And that's how Lenny ended up in jail.
That's
too.
how
Yeah.
Lenny ended up in jail.
Honestly, Lenny, if you can hear this, welcome home.
So then after that, Larry, Luann, and Don Lemon started the Lemon Family Farm and Lemon Lollapalooza with the Lemon Lime Festival that now runs today.
With Lemon M. as
With
the
Lemon
headliner.
M as a headliner every year. The end?
No,
The,
wait. I
what-
just got a text message.
Oh.
Okay.
Laura Lime is home.
Oh, she made it.
She did.
Welcome back.
Hashtag welcome home, Laura Lime.
Hashtag welcome home, Laura Lime.
The end.
The end.
All right. Good. That was fun. How'd you feel about that one?
I felt great. I think I did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played a good part in that.
Yeah, you played a pretty good part.
Crushed it.
Yeah. Squeezed it, fresh squeezed.
Freshly squeezed.
Yes. Lynn, how do you think she did?
I thought you did a great job.
Good.
Yeah.
A+.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure I've been the funniest person so far, but just kidding, everybody.
Ooh.
I'm really
Wow.
not.
That's a slight against some of the other guests we've had on here.
It was a joke.
Okay.
They've all been great.
I mean, they're comedians. They can take it, hopefully. For those listening, Emily just made a face like, ooh, boy. Oh, man, what a story. What a way to cap off this episode.
Yes.
What a run it has been this past year.
Like I said, a year has flown by.
Yeah, it really has. It's been crazy to think that, a year later we'd still be doing this, and we'd be doing it, weekly, and even with even more passion for it, I'd say now.
Well, we definitely, I think the passion's always there for us. We did have a hiatus of 2 months?
It's like a month and a half, yeah.
But that was really out of our control. We were moving. We didn't really prepare for it as much as we wanted to, but
yeah.
I think that's okay. I think that sometimes you need a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And that was our break.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah. All podcasts, have struggling points, there's people that don't even make it to this many episodes that we have.
Well, isn't it if you make it to your 7th episode,
you're pretty much set?
You're pretty much set?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But, hey, we've made it more than 5 times past that. So
it's true.
So I think we're pretty good.
I think we are good.
So that's why we're here to announce this is the end of No, I'm kidding. We're not ending it here. What are you talking about?
You crazy.
We're just getting started, people.
This is where we announce our 3rd podcast.
No, 2 is enough right now.
What do you mean?
Look, 2 is enough right now. Maybe we'll see about a 3rd at some point. Maybe that'll be one we release every quarter or something. You just want to do more podcasts. Is that what it is?
I do. This hobby of ours has shown me that I love the production of podcasts. I like creating them.
Yeah.
And there have been opportunities for me to host other podcasts.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because we had a friend that wanted a co-host.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you were like, you should reach out. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Still should.
I don't know about that. That's 3 podcasts.
Hey,
It's a lot. It's a lot of my time.
It's an option, though. Hey, if you just host and you don't have to edit it, maybe that's a...
But who gonna edit? I have to... No. I'll get into it off mic.
This is an off mic conversation, but still,
I've had the opportunity to host other podcasts, and I have talked to many people about them starting their own, and I'm always like, what's your idea?
Yeah.
How can I help?
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, and having a chance to guest on some other shows and things like that.
Absolutely.
It's so cool, and getting to meet new people and share with them what we do, and we get to see what they do. It's so much fun, and it's such a cool community of people that do podcasts, and it's such a vast community. You have all kinds of different shows and topics and viewpoints and everything like that from all around the world. It's really crazy, but it's cool to be part of a community like this. It's been awesome to meet people and learn from people, and we're just excited to keep going. This train's going to keep rolling as long as we can do it. As long as there's headlines on Not the Onion on Reddit to find and randomly generated story titles that the internet will give us, we'll keep doing this show.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. So here's to 1 year and many more of the Read Between podcast. But before we go, we want to make sure you know where you can find us. So you can check us out on social media. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at ReadBetweenCast. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ReadBetweenCast. You can find our show every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Spotify, on Stitcher, on YouTube, on Google Podcasts, and on iTunes as well. We also have another podcast, as we've talked about, called Nostalgia Cops. It's a monthly podcast where we review television shows from our childhood to see if they still hold up. That show is released on the first Friday of every month at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find that show on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iTunes, as well as Spotify.
Yes.
Lynn, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter, Annlynn, AYNNELNN. That's where I am. Whatever I do on the internet, that's where I post it all. That's about it for me. Don't have much else.
That's fine. And for me, you can find me on Twitter at E_Williamson93. If you're in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania area and looking to check out some awesome improv comedy, you can find me at Steel Stacks in Bethlehem, PA, as part of the Improv Comedy Power Hour every second and fourth Saturday at Steel Stacks. That show's at 10:30 p.m. And for more information on that show and many more that are at Steel Stacks, go to steelstacks.org/comedy. So, Lynn, I think that's going to do it for this week's episode, this retrospective on the first year of Read Between.
Am I free now? Can I go?
Yeah, you can go now.
Am I free from my podcast bond?
Well, for today.
What, today?
Yeah, remember, we gotta put out episode 38 next week. Lynn, the blood contract you signed was for life.
Blood?
Yeah.
I don't remember giving blood.
Well, folks, I think we're gonna have to end it there.
Did you do something to me? Did you take my blood?
I just pricked your finger and signed your name.
When?
I mean...
That's forgery. That's illegal.
Well, I think we're going to have to go figure this out. So
hello, 911.
So we're going to go figure this out. We'll be back
911, he took my blood.
We'll be back next week, next Monday at 9 a.m.
911, he signed my name.
With a brand new episode. So make sure you come back and check us out then.
911, he doing illegal. He doing the illegal.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
So illegal. Bye.
Bye.